Alright, so now that your wave editor is open, I'm sure the first thing you want to do is import a file. So the way you can do that is click File, Open, or Open right here, or you can press Control O to open the file. Really, I just like to drag the file from wherever it is in the computer and drop it in the application. So what happens is you get this little graph right here that has the sound level throughout the track. And some settings you can mess around with in File. You go to File Settings. You can choose the language system or the colors according to your preferences. In your view, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can zoom full, which is a standard zoom. You can change the scale format from milliseconds to samples. And you've got all these edit options, which are all available down here, pretty standard. You've got some operations, and I'll explain all of these in detail. You have tools, and all of these tools are different applications that you can download from the same website we got this application, and they're all useful. So if you find something that you might like to have, you can download it for free. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let's work with the file that we have. So we have this long file right here, and if we hit play, we can hear some nice guitar there in the beginning. It's really low-level guitar, and what I really want to do is work to the main action of the song. So I want to cut that out. Let's just say I'm making a ringtone here, so I'm going to take out the initial part of it. And what I can do is interact with this graph by clicking, or this graphical part here, by clicking on different segments or different sections, and you can see the time. The cursor shows what time I'm at. So I can choose a certain part, and I can choose a segment by highlighting whichever part I want. So I'm going to highlight this initial part, move my mouse over. If you notice that delete pops up, that works with every option. So you can you know what you're choosing. So in this case, we want to delete. We can delete that part. I want to work with a small section of the track, so I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this as well. And there we go. We have a nice short little section of the track. So now that we have this, let's work with some of the operations that we have. This guitar kind of starts a little abruptly, so I'm going to do is put in a little fade in there at the beginning. Also going to put a fade out at the end. If we want a ringtone, we don't want it to just start suddenly. We want a nice little fade in and a fade out. So you can hear if I hit play. You can hear it fade in and fade out. That's nice. It's useful. We can also insert a moment of silence right here. So we click whatever part we want, whichever part of the track we want, and insert the silence. So if I click there and I hit insert silence, I want 1 second of silence. I'll enter 1000 milliseconds. Hit OK, and we have that moment of silence. Now what that does is it doesn't replace any part of the track. It just interrupts the music and puts in a moment of silence. So if you wanted to replace a section, I'd have to delete that a section and then put in the silence, so that it replaces that part of the track. So that's how that works. Now, now that we've got the silence in there, let's see all these other options. They don't apply to a section of the track like the ones I've shown you have. They apply to the whole track. So suppose I want to normalize the track to 95%. If I hit OK, it's going to normalize the whole track, and I can't take a section of it and do that because that's just not how it works. In a similar way, if I want to reverse the track, it's going to reverse the whole track. not just a segment of it. So just keep that in mind when you're working with this. Those are some of the restrictions of the software. You can invert the whole track if you'd like. You can amplify, increase the volume. Let's say 150%, it makes it louder. I can choose the second option right next to it and amplify, but in this case it's decreasing it, so amplify, decrease. We get this lower volume part of it. And those are all the operations. They're very simple operations, but they're useful, and you can do a lot of good things with these operations. And it's a very simple software to use, so I like using it. Now that we have this finished file, you can save it by hitting the save icon or pressing Ctrl S. If you want to choose where you save it, you can save as. I'm going to choose desktop and say sound clip right there. Hit save. Now that I have that, I can, it's a small file so it saves quickly. Alright, so there we have our nice short sound clip, and I hope this tutorial helped you learn to use the software some.